I've been meaning to do an episode about sorrel since I first got into foraging, since it's one of my favorite wild plants. This is Oxalis, and since there are over 900 varieties of this plant growing worldwide, I'm just gonna call it wood sorrel from here on out. This plant is really abundant in waste spaces with full sun, worldwide. It's a low-growing ground cover. The place I usually find mine is mixed up in a flower bed outside the mall. Though some people confuse it with clover, wood sorrel is really easy to identify because of its leaves. A set of 3 perfectly heart-shaped leaves. Here's a clover for comparison. Clover also grows in sets of 3s, but the shape of the leaf is the key here. Clover leaves are boring ovals. Wood sorrels are cute hearts. The whole sorrel plant is edible, and it's just fabulous raw. Sorrels have a distinct tart green apple or lemon flavor that lends itself equally well to sweets and savory dishes. This is due to the concentration of oxalic acid in the plant, which can be toxic in high amounts, so don't eat more than a cup per day, and don't eat it at all if you're prego or prone to kidney stones. Nutritionally, wood sorrel is not exactly a powerhouse, but it is high in vitamins C, A, and magnesium. Medicinally, it's not a powerhouse either, but it has been used to treat all of these ailments over the years. Now that we've talked about wood sorrel, here's a different sorrel, sheep sorrel. Though it shares the sorrel name, it's actually in a different family altogether, the dock family, but it's got a very similar nutritional makeup and that same lemony kick. Sheep sorrel is easy to identify because of its unique leaf shape, which kind of looks like a sword with a handle. I haven't seen any other weed with this leaf shape in any of my books or in real life, but if you're not sure, just taste it. Sheep sorrel is a super detoxifying plant and is the key ingredient in Essiac tea, a tea used in alternative treatments for cancer. The jury is out on its effectiveness, but the tea is at least not harmful and doesn't taste too bad. So how to use these two plants? I use them interchangeably. As seen in episode 2, I use wood sorrel as a garnish on top of my chili at the cook-off. The tartness was a wonderful accompaniment to the spiciness of the chili. I also put sheep sorrel on sandwiches. Yum! My books all said that during World War I, people would make Sorrelade since lemons were scarce. So I had to try it. The recipe is simple. Put some sorrel in a container, fill that container with hot water, not boiling, and let it set overnight. Well, I did that, and you can see it's like a little bit off watercolor.
How does it taste? So-ish?
It tastes like lemonade was in this cup before, and then I just poured water into it.
It has the aftertaste of lemon.
I'd give this a solid 4 out of 10. It's not terrible.
And there is the review. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible! So I wanted to really do this plant justice. The best way to do that, I think, was by combining it with pasta, olive oil, and cheese. While my spaghetti boiled up, I juiced a lemon and combined the juice with about a 1/3 cup of Parmesan and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I peppered it all and tossed about a cup sheep sorrel into that delicious mix. And then I added the spaghetti as soon as it was all drained. I tossed it all together to coat and ate it.
How is it?
It's delicious.
Yeah?
The lemon pasta goes excellent with the lemon.
Sorrel? As well? Yeah.
You'll notice that the sorrel turns a kind of army green color when cooked, even a little bit. This is normal and it doesn't lose any flavor. This was one of the best pasta dishes I've ever made and definitely recommend. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode and we'll see you next week for the last episode of this season. I'll be on hiatus for a little while, but we'll continue to post mini episodes here and there. In the meantime, happy foraging.